Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Feels so good to be here with you today. I just wanted to say thank you for all of the support. It has meant so much to me and I've just really been blown away, and just felt amazing, and it's really inspiring, and it's been a huge the support I've been receiving through this channel and on my blog have been really important and crucial for my growth, because the hardest part for me going through this awakening so far has been really opening my heart. And with that opening, it's been hard for me to, give and receive in a real way. And I'm really starting to learn how to do that. And this channel has really started helping me feel into that vibration of love that's within, and it's been helping me be able to express it more and then to be open to receiving it, which I think that's an underrated part of, or a less talked about part of love, and people with a closed heart. It's not only that you're unavailable to give love and you're unable to express it, it's also the fact that you can't receive true, genuine love. And that is, I think, one of the biggest hurdles for people, because I know with myself, there was just no way years ago that I was going to be able to receive genuine love in a real way. And that is really detrimental to a person's emotional and psychological well-being, because we are social creatures. And I feel like that's why I was so prone to addiction, and I feel like that's such a huge part of addiction, is the inability to connect with the heart. Because I feel like in so many ways the heart is the gateway to our connection with source. And I really, at the root of it, I feel like that's what addiction is. It's this compensation for not being connected to our source. You're trying to fill this void that exists because you don't feel whole. Because you can't feel whole if you don't feel connected to source energy, to God, to your higher self. And so much of that essential connection is derived through having an open heart. And being in the flow of life it's all channeled, I feel, through the heart. And this channel, my blog, just expressing my story in a real way, in a vulnerable way, has been the most healing thing that I've ever done in my entire life. And it's just been an incredible thing. I look back at it now and I can't believe I've shared what I've shared. I mean, this was not who I was just 2 years ago. I was a really closed off person. I was always the person who felt like they had to wear a mask and put on a facade for others. I always wanted to come across as something different than what I was. I wanted to put on kind of this presentation, if you will, of me and my life. And authenticity and honesty were completely missing from just my being, my essence. I didn't know who I was on any level. And through being that lost, through dealing with addiction, through anxiety and depression, through being codependent, through being in emotional turmoil, through having all of these challenges, I asked all the important questions, and I kept trying to find the next answer. I kept trying to understand myself better and better. And I feel like I hit a brick wall eventually, and I just couldn't go any further. And I knew there was something more, but I just didn't know what it was. I knew it wasn't more money or more success or more sex or more any type of drug. I knew there was something more, but I didn't know what that more was. And that's when I had my Kundalini awakening. And that's when my heart didn't open initially. Of course, I had a rough period, a dark night of the soul, and all of that. But over time, as I become more honest about who I am, as I started expressing myself authentically and honestly in a vulnerable way, I found and having a willingness to be open, just be open to the universe, be open to God, be open to a higher energy, being open to Source, Gaia, being open to you guys. I've really felt like my heart is opening, and also with that I feel like my addictions are becoming less of a thing. My addictive personality, my addictive nature, because I haven't had it like alcohol or drugs or even caffeine for like coming up on 2 years. So those addictions were put to rest right at the beginning of my awakening. But I'm talking about from a deeper issue, because those outer addictions to drugs and substance are always a manifestation of an inner lack and an inner addiction to emotional states. I can say when I was addicted, I was addicted to like marijuana or alcohol or whatever. I had a inner addiction to a negativity, a negative emotional state. Because I feel like if our heart isn't open, the mind just isn't enough, you know? It can only take us so far. That brick wall I told you about. And when we hit that brick wall, we look for all these other things outside of us to fill that void, to be the answer. And what I'm realizing is if I will just open my heart and and if I just will have the presence and the consciousness and the awareness to stop reaching and grasping and craving, if I'll just open my heart and be open to receiving, if I will just be open to receiving whatever energetically flows my way, that I feel so full. I've had this thought these last few days of when I'm having a really great moment, I'm feeling all the best emotions I felt over the past 10 years of my life, like at one time. And it's like this amazing, like cocktail of just an energetic luminosity that comes through sometimes. And it's really incredible, and I feel it's because of the openness to the pain. And I feel like my addictive nature is starting to heal itself. It's starting to be, I've been willing to feel it. I've been willing to feel the feelings behind those addictions, behind that cravingness, that neediness that I've always seemed to carry with me. And it's just been kind of a revelation, how just opening the heart and being open to receiving, you just realize you don't need anything anymore. Like, you're a self-contained kit of wholeness. And you're a complete life. There's no such thing as an incomplete life. You're a beautiful mix of creator and creation. And when we think we need something from somebody or a substance, if we have an emotional addiction, a neediness, a codependency addiction, narcissistic traits, whatever they are, then we've become confused and we've identified as being incomplete. It's only an incomplete life that needs someone else, something else to feel complete. But if we'll just take the time to know ourselves fully and become vulnerable with ourselves and honest and open and willing to see the truth of what we are and not churn from it, not feel ashamed of it, not try to run from it, not try to project something differently, and to just open to it and love that, love what we see there. That's, I don't know, that's been just something I'm working through right now. And I just wanted to make this video about addiction and awakening, and I just feel like I've gotten to the core of something about addiction, and I just feel like love is it's the medicine for all addiction, no matter what the addiction is. Love is the cure. And it's really hard at first. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's been an easy thing to do, and I still have a long way to go. I'm still uncomfortable with aspects of opening. It's still a very difficult thing. It's still something I have to consciously choose to do every day. But it's been something that's been so helpful for me to overcome any type of negative states, and it's something that helps me feel safe when the energy gets really, turbulent. There are still, like recently, these last couple of weeks, it's been just such a surge of like this electrical energy coming in, and it's creating these intensely high states followed by an intensely low and dark state, and then a high and then a low. I mean, I've been able to go up and down like that 3 or 4 times a day. It's just like a roller coaster right now. And if you're just going to live this type of energetic flow, this energetic turbulence with just your mind, it can be really chaotic and you can feel really unsafe because your mind is going to tell you all types of stories about it, especially if you have a fearful mind like I do. If we're just lost to the mind, then this whole awakening experience can become a very challenging, exhausting, and painful. It's going to be painful, I'm sure, no matter what it has been for me, but more so than necessary. It's just going to be a lot harder than it has to be. But if we can just sink into the heart, in just like a physical way, if you can just imagine sinking your attention, your focus, your consciousness into your heart, and just resting it there, especially in the darker times, it's going to help you to not resist. It's going to help you to bring a wisdom, like life's energy can flow through, the universe can flow through you, and that's going to bring a wisdom to your mind about what's really happening. And you're just going to feel this inherent safety that's always within you. Your root chakra is going to stay open. The chakras are just going to stay open in general, and that's always beautiful. You don't ever want to constrict, and that's when things can that's when you can go on a rough ride, quite honestly, is what I've learned. But that's what I wanted to share with you guys. I had no idea I was just going to say any of that. I was going to come here and talk about a fearful mind, but I will get to that eventually. But yeah, I just wanted to share that, and thank you so much for your support, and it means a lot to me, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Namaste.